All right, y'all. This is not God of War. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And first and foremost, let me say I don't have a problem with them using the title God of War. Stick with me, by the way. I do not have a problem with them using the title God of War. I do not have a problem with a female protagonist. I do not have a problem with Faye. I think Faye's dope. I think the gameplay looks sick. And as you see here, they're adding different mythologies. This is the Tibetan god of war, the Mongolian god of war. Here in a second, it shows the Egyptian god of war, and it's the afterlife of the gods. I think all that is dope. I think the concept is dope.
Fresh air. Oh, you're different.
You know what? It doesn't matter.
Exactly, it doesn't matter. What are we doing, guys? What in the Forspoken, what in the Disney is going on here? You see, in God of War 3, you descend down into hell, or Hades, Tartarus, whatever it's called in its mythology, and you fight Hades himself. It is a very dark themed game. God of War 1 through 3, obviously you know the story. Kratos kills his own family and is basically carries their ashes on his skin. Everything in God of War has been very dark. And in God of War 2018, it wasn't as dark, but thematically, narratively, it made sense for me. It was more mature, it was grounded. Kratos found some sort of peace, got married, had a child, but he was still this very rough around the edges character. And for me personally, this is where we get the character assassination of Kratos, where Kratos does everything he can to protect his son. He doesn't trust the gods, he doesn't trust Odin especially. And then here in Ragnarok, Atreus in his little teeny bopper is like, oh, send me back, I know what I'm doing. And then Kratos agrees to send Atreus back to Asgard. Are you kidding me? It goes against the established nature of who Kratos is. And this outside of some alongside some gameplay elements, absolutely killed Ragnarok for me. I didn't hate it. I just felt it was a disappointing game. It was still a good game, but disappointing compared to 2018 or 1 through 3. And then he chooses to send his son back to Asgard. Again, what are we doing, guys? Now, fast forward back to 2018, or sorry, to Laufe. We go to Laufe, and again, I don't care. It's a woman lead. Narratively, it makes sense for me because you're telling the Fae side of the story. I think that's dope. I think having the different pantheons and mythologies there is dope. I think there's a lot they can do with the game.
Still here.
Whoever is doing this, stop. This is one sick joke.
Now we get this.
I am out of here.
You can't run away from me.
We get talking to the
I'm
amulet.
literally attached to you.
We
Why
get
don't we
Forspoken.
settle down a bit?
We get a
and talk
talking
about
cube.
ourselves. Talk about our
And
interests
you guys
in
know the story
life,
of
perhaps.
Forspoken. We're skipping
I am
past
not
this.
hearing this.
Rue? I think you should give her the sword.
How do I know I can trust her?
I'll give it back. I promise.
Okay. Take it.
Yeah, guys, I just can't believe that this is where we are headed with the God of War series. Again, we've lost the plot, we've lost the themes, and I just don't understand how they cannot sit in the writer's room and one person who's a fan of the game, one person who's been there from the beginning, say, hey, this is not what the fans want. I don't care that it has the God of War title. I think it's smart to get Faye's side of the story and explore different mythology and pantheons and such. I like that direction, but why do we have this dancing cube in the background? Funny, I'm reacting to the video as I'm saying it, so it's funny the timing on that. He literally spins. A dancing cube named Frank. Are you kidding me? Nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for the Forspoken talking sword and the talking cube. Like, who approved this? And again, we'll get to the writers in a second, but these people just do not understand God of War. And again, I don't want to be overly negative. I don't have a problem with Faye as the lead at all. I thought the Horizon series was dope, even though Aloy was super unlikable in the second game, and the second game struggled with bloat, and they wrote Aloy as like this little man complex having jerk. But that's besides the point. What are we doing to God of War, guys? I don't care about, I think exploring Faye's side of things, especially with the introduction of different pantheons and mythologies, again, is dope. But why are we getting away from the dark themes? Why are we getting away from what makes God of War God of War? I mean, not to bounce around too much, but you guys already know where I'm going with this one. You look at Mortal Kombat 1, and Mortal Kombat used to be this dark, eerie, lots of atmosphere, kind of like a horror game almost. And I know it was inspired by like 90s action movies and the corniness of that, but it didn't feel like it in the games. You look at Deception, Deadly Alliance, the original trilogy, it did not feel like a sitcom knockoff, spin-off, whatever you want to call it. Now Mortal Kombat has lost its whole entire identity. And it's like, what were you thinking, Sony? What were you thinking, Santa Monica? And I'm not saying boycott the game. I'm not saying, like, me personally, I want to buy a PS5 Pro. I've been on PC for the last year. I want to buy a PS5 Pro to play this game. But will I pay full price for it? Unlikely, because it's like, why? If you guys are destroying the franchises we know and love, why would I pay full price for it? When Mortal Kombat 1 dropped, I paid $120 to support the game to get all the content, and I was excited to play it. I had no problem buying the deluxe edition because I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I beat the story mode within a few hours, probably in a day. I beat the story mode. I check out the rest of the content, and the downloadable characters are months off, so you paid your extra $60 for all the DLC, and there's nothing available to you day one. There's not even anything available to you in the first couple months. So it's like, what's the point of putting out these half-finished games? And in Santa Monica's defense, they don't do that. They put out full-fledged games, they put out great products, but I guess the writer, let's go see if I could go find it. I'm pretty sure this is the writer, Elise Morgan. This is the writer of the new God of War. And I don't know what Assassin's Creed Origins, I never really played that. But Gotham Knights, she wrote Gotham Knights, Watch Dogs Legion. And I'm not saying she was the main writer on these games, but she's attributed with writing these games. So why would you put her in charge of writing the God of War series? And again, she might surprise us, but right out the gate, it's just not looking too promising. I mean, again, the gameplay looks phenomenal. The sped up combat, it looks amazing. The graphics are incredible, like wow. So there's a lot of positives, and I do not mean to be overly negative, but I cannot support one of my favorite video game franchises being Disney-fied. I'll be honest with you guys. When Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, God of War at that time, Red Dead Redemption 1 was my favorite game. And then God of War 2018 wasn't my favorite game in the world, but it was the most perfect, bug-free. If I died, it was because of my mistakes and not the game being janky. Looking at you, Helldivers 2, catching strays. But God of War 2018 was one of my favorite games of all time, and it was the most perfect game I ever played. When I went to Red Dead Redemption 2, I couldn't play it past a couple hours because it was so jarring going to such a smooth, perfect, tight-knit game to such a slow, methodical, and easy game, to be honest with you, compared to a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 needs a difficulty slider, but that's besides the point. I don't want the God of War or the RDR2 fanboys to come at me in the comments, but this is not the direction. Again, there's a lot of good, and maybe I'll be wrong, but I think, didn't they show the cube and the sword in the cover? So that means they're going to be your companions for the whole game. And look, God of War 2018, you have a severed head as your talking companion and your own son. Again, thematically, narratively, that makes sense. This does not make sense for the God of War franchise. It's not because I'm a misogynist. It's not because I don't like games with female leads. I don't like whatever this is. I'll be honest with you. Anyway, I don't expect this video to take off. I just hope it gets a couple views and some people in the comments to give me some feedback on this one. How do you guys feel about it, obviously? If you guys want to hear more of my takes in these lazily edited, if you could call that videos, like and subscribe. No, do what you do. I don't even care. You'll never hear me say like and subscribe again. That's just me being basic YouTuber. I hate when people say that. And at least I said it at the end. I didn't say, well, without further ado, after I give you a 10-minute ad, let's get straight into it. Anyway, I'm rambling now. What the hell, guys? Again, this is so frustrating. I had to get on here and talk about it. And that woman you just seen standing next to Corey is the game director of this game. I thought this was Corey's new game. And so, like, you know, everybody was giving Corey a hard time, like, oh, he was on drugs when he came up with the talking cube and everything else. Like, no, he's not even the game director anymore. He's giving the reins to somebody else, and we've seen how that played out with Ragnarok. Are you kidding me, guys? No. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out to the end of the video. It's been great talking with you guys. Really, I just had to vent, so if this goes to a full-blown channel, show it love and support. It may just be a one-off YouTube video, especially if I don't get a lot of reactions. But please, if you're here watching, please leave a comment. Tell me how you feel about the game, because I want to hear your guys' opinions on the matter. I want to have that dialogue, because as I was scrolling through YouTube, I felt like there was people who were unnecessarily critical of the game, and there's people who just wouldn't say anything poorly about the game, which is fine. If you love this, I'm happy for you. Just for me, it doesn't have that feeling of God of War. And that's what bothers me more than anything. I don't care about Faye and everything else. So thanks again. Hopefully this turns to a full-blown YouTube channel and I can talk about games with you guys. Thanks for sticking around. I'm out. Peace.